Caterpillar is dedicated to rural life, supporting farmers in the community and in the field. They have a vast product line for agriculture, and tonight we'll have more on that, plus a look at a new addition to the Cat family, an all-new utility vehicle. Good evening. Welcome to Rural America Live. I'm Marlon Bowling. Joining me right now from Caterpillar is Shandy Hill, Agriculture Segment Manager. And beside him, we have Joel Grimes, Cat Wheel Loader Marketing Manager. And on the other side of me, I have Norma Aldinger, Cat UTV Commercial Manager. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate all of you folks being on hand. This is great having you on for the first time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. Glad to have you, and welcome back anytime. All right, so I want to get a few short little introductions from everybody, if you don't mind. Shandy, I'll start with you. Give us a little background about Shandy.
So I've been with Caterpillar just over 20 years now.
Really?
Yep, and I grew up on a small farm in northeast Kansas, hometown.
So we're both Kansas kids.
Yep, Mayetta, Kansas.
Right. Okay.
And I went to school at Kansas State University, got a mechanical engineering degree there, and started with Caterpillar right out of school and been with them ever since.
And never left?
No.
That says a lot about a company right there, if you stuck with them right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Thanks for coming out and talking with us tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, Joel, what's your background?
Yeah, well, similar to you, I'll tell you what, I've got agricultural roots all the way back to the beginning. So I was born and raised in a little northeast corner of Ohio town called Orrville. And we're fourth generation farming there now. My younger brother's coming back and he's joining my family. So we grew up doing farrow to finish. You know, I grew up the right way, yeah. And I'll tell you what, that gave me the opportunity to work with equipment, and I got a passion for it. And I followed that passion. I graduated from Ohio State. I'm a Buckeye.
Okay.
With an engineering degree, and went straight to Caterpillar out of work. And I'll tell you what, that's given me the opportunity to work a little bit in test and development, to work in marketing, and I've now bounced around the world with Caterpillar, chasing my product with my saint of a wife and three beautiful children.
Awesome. Well, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us tonight, and look forward to talking with you here in just a little bit. All right, that brings us to you, Norma. Tell us about you.
Well, I'm just another farm kid at the table, so I like to say I'm from Jamaica.
You don't look like you're Jamaican. Explain that a little bit.
I know. I'm from a small, town in Iowa that happens to be named Jamaica.
There you go.
I'm just a farm kid like everybody else at the table. So born and raised on a farm. I actually went to Iowa State, so I'm a Cyclone. And then, again, like the others at the table, joined Caterpillar after college. I've been there 18 years now, and it's been awesome. And throughout my career, it seems like, every other assignment I keep coming back to products that lead me back to my roots in the ag segment. So it's been a blast.
Interesting. All right, so I'm sitting here with a table full of veterans at Caterpillar here. You guys have all been there quite a while. Shandy, I'll start with you, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Everybody knows about the yellow iconic brand of Caterpillar. Maybe you can clue in our viewers and listeners about their relationship to agriculture. Some may be surprised at how strong it is.
Yes, certainly we're known for our construction equipment, but we also have a number of machines today that work perfectly in the agriculture environment. And we got our smaller line of machines, our small wheel loaders, compact wheel loaders, telehandlers, and we got our mini excavators become more and more popular on the farm, and then our skid steer loader and compact track loader line. But I thought before we get too deep into the equipment there, we'd take a look back and see how Caterpillar got started and why our roots are really in agriculture.
That would be great. I know we can see a few on the wall behind you, but we do have a video queued up. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right now.
Caterpillar, it's a big company, a successful company. That's what happens when you listen to the customer and care enough to do the job right. One of their first jobs was making sure farmers didn't get stuck in the mud. It was Benjamin Holt who bolted tracks under a steam tractor, replaced steam with gasoline power, and put the track-type tractor to work. That was in California. His nephew opened a factory in East Peoria, Illinois in 1910. Same year they trademarked the word Caterpillar. 2 years later, C.L. Best started making his own track-type tractors, called them track layers, and put them to work. Long story short, the best ideas of all these people were combined in 1925. That's when the trademark turned into a company, the Caterpillar Tractor Company.
So, Shandy, back to you. After watching that video, tell us about how CAT can help farmers and ranchers.
Yeah, so a lot's changed since 1925, but a few things remain the same. Our customers are always looking for new and better ways to get their jobs done on the farm. And for Caterpillar, we translate that problem into, how can we provide the lowest own and operating cost for our machines? So I think tonight you'll hear from Joel and Norma, of course, of how we incorporate that design philosophy into our equipment. And so, like I said earlier, we've got several pieces of equipment in our smaller lineup, namely our compact and small wheel loaders, which we have a few ag handler versions of that Joel will talk about a little later. We've got some telehandlers in that lineup as well that also have an ag handler badge on them. They're specifically designed for agriculture.
Can I stop you there for a second? Some people may be confused. A telehandler, they may be saying, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Explain, what is that? Or are we going to be seeing that in a little bit?
Yeah, you'll be seeing that in the video here in a little bit. But it's basically a machine that has a telescopic boom that it can really reach out quite a long ways. It works great for stacking big squares.
Oh,
actually.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, we'd probably take a look at the video, and you'll see a bunch of those in action.
Nice.
In our and on farms in and around the country.
So let's cue that up right now.
Okay.
I love that video. Yeah, that's well done, well made. So it points out a lot of the features, and of course we're talking about all the attachments out there. My goodness, how many do you have?
Yeah, so we have quite a few. We've got about 70 different families of attachments on that smaller equipment line, and there's about a dozen or so of those that are dedicated specifically for agriculture and designed specifically for agriculture. A machine is not much good unless you have the right attachment on it. And I think you saw in that video there, with the right attachment designed by us, an equipment manufacturer, we can really optimize those tools to get those jobs done on the farm like, you know, stacking the hay, moving the feed, spreading bedding, sand, things like that. So we have another video here, actually, that'll get into that a little bit further, showing you a lot of those ag attachments that
just the wide array of attachments that are available there?
Yeah, the dedicated
So we only saw just a sample a little bit ago.
Yeah, just a little.
So you have even more?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, let's go take a look at that. So obviously, Shandy, we notice that agriculture changes all the time. There's so much taking place. How do you keep up with all that?
Yeah, so for starters, we've got about 30 reps in the field spread out across North America.
Okay.
And on a daily basis, they're interacting with our dealer sales and service folks, which are in turn getting out and seeing our customers on agriculture operations on a daily basis. So we get a lot of feedback directly from farmers and ranchers through that interaction there. We also attend a number of national trade shows like Farm Progress, National Farm Machinery Show, and then our dealers are involved in a lot of the local and regional shows, and our reps support those as well. So that's another avenue that we're able to get and interact with the farmers and ranchers that are out there as well. Then we support a number of agriculture associations.
Okay.
So FFA, American Farm Bureau, NCBA, just to name a few. And I guess in those associations, we take those relationships very seriously. So, we don't just funnel sponsorship dollars their way. We actually are digging in and getting to know their member base and figuring out what their needs are, bringing all that information back to the design table. And then from time to time, we'll put offers together for those members in those associations, and I think we have a couple examples. So
here. I believe you were talking about that off air. First of all, I believe you actually had one. Let's see, you call it a bundle program, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you mentioned that you had a couple of different organizations. Here's one on the screen right now. Explain what we're looking at.
So this is the Buy a Bundle, Save a Bundle program. That's a nice round bale there that you should like to pick up.
I would love that round bale, yeah.
Yeah, and so this is actually for our compact wheel loader lineup that we just introduced, the ag handler version of those, which Joel will talk about. So you can get $2,000 off if you buy one of those new Cat ag handlers along with 2 work tools, a hydraulic attachment like that bale grab we saw, and then maybe a simple attachment like a bucket or forks.
All right. And then you have some bundles just for some specific groups then?
Yeah, and so like I mentioned earlier, some of the associations we're involved in, here's NCBA memberships.
Okay.
They can get a range of discounts on equipment used on the farm, up to $2,500 off on some of our larger track type excavators.
So if you're a member of NCBA, you may not even be aware. You can get a steep discount there.
Right, yeah, and so you just see your local dealer there, and they know all about the program and can get you those discounts.
Is there another group too?
And actually, yeah, Farm Bureau, that's another one. Right now we're running a very similar program with them. You can actually sign up to be a Farm Bureau member if you're not one, fb.org/join. And you'd certainly be eligible for those discounts as well.
That might be incentive right there.
Yeah, and if that's not enough, we actually have a 0% for 60 program that's running right now through the end of June on the compact lineup here with a 2-year warranty. And you could combine these other discounts that we just talked about.
Oh, you can piggyback those in. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
so
awesome.
A great time.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So a lot of folks out there watching and listening may have just learned something right now that might save them a boatload of money. So
yeah, absolutely.
Maybe a bundle of money.
A bundle of money. I see what you did there. That was very good. We'll get to you in a minute. All right. I also hear, Norma, I'm going to turn to you. I hear you have something new in the works that's going to be coming out, and folks can maybe learn about it tonight. You're going to talk about that, right?
I am. I'm going to talk about our
Give us a little tease about that.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about our brand new CAT utility vehicle. So that's all I'm going to say right now.
Okay.
So you have to tune in later if you want to hear more.
You've got to keep it right here. Okay. So that's a very good tease. So anyway, we're going to look forward to that anyway. A brand new utility vehicle. Can't wait to hear about that myself. All right, so before we go to a break, we're actually going to open up our phone lines, and if you want to call in, here's the number. Grab a pencil, write it down right now. Here's the number, toll free, 877-731-6733. And I'll read that again, 877-731-6733. Call in with your questions. And coming up, how Caterpillar is making products tuned for success on the farm. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Rural America Live. Our phone lines are open. The number, once again, is 877-731-6733 if you want to call in right now, and make sure you jot that down. We'll put it on the bottom of the screen throughout the program as well. We are being joined right now by our panel of experts from Caterpillar. We have Shandy Hill, Agriculture Segment Manager. We also have Joel Grimes, Cat Wheel Loader Marketing Manager. And we have Norma Aldinger, Cat UTV Commercial Manager. So once again, welcome to all of you. Joel, Shandy shared that Cat has this big product line available, and just wanted to ask you if you could share with our audience maybe how your machines can actually benefit the farmers and ranchers in their operations. How can you address that?
Yeah, happy to take that question on. And, you know, part of the reason CAT's been so successful, we're still around from 1925, is we want to be business partners with our valued customers. And that means being a total solution provider. And equipment is part of that equation, isn't it? But so is financing, and so is maximizing that uptime. So all the way through the design phase, from our talented engineering staff and our test guys who put our products to their absolute limits, and a dealership network which is just world-renowned for service, parts availability, we can maximize that uptime and make sure that our products are a good farmhand, a trusted farmhand. And as we coach our sales staff, we look at it very simplistically: task, tool, and machine. So as we engage as being business partners with the folks on the farms and on the ranches, as we come out and consult, what are we doing with the products, and what kind of attachment do we need? And you saw the whole breadth of them that we've got available to us, and what kind of machine do we need to put behind it to get the work done? And so if we dive a little bit deeper into that, a few examples I'd like to share is folks that are working in very tight quarters and small pens or corrals. Oh man, you just can't beat a skid steer loader. Absolutely just turn right on a dime inside of its own footprint. And Caterpillar offers 16 different models in this space, and 4 different platforms of varying sizes, either wheels or tracks, with 2 different lift arm styles, either a radial lift or a straight vertical lift. So your entry-level model, that smallest footprint machine, a 226, all the way up to our just power-packed 299, which gets offered in an XHP, which can come online with a land management package, so you can go out and just cut the most aggressive of brush. And, you know, skid steer loaders with a coupler on the front end and auxiliary attachments can do a whole variety of different, you know, things on the farm, making it just an indispensable item. And, you know, Cat's got some unique things with a patented airflow that we're spitting cold exhaust out. So, you know, working next to property and animals, it's a pleasant product to be around. And, you know, as we jump then into, you know, like feed pad loading, batching those recipes every day, you know, skid steers can certainly play a role in that, but we'd love to see one of our wheel loaders, my products, one of my wheel loaders, you know, on that site. And, you know, wheel loaders, they really excel at that type of work. And Caterpillar, we offer 10 models in that space.
Really?
And yeah, quite a bit of breadth there. And our entry-level model, our 903. Love that little guy. Basic tractor. It's going to pick up 1-ton payload, so ideal for pallets of seed and totes of herbicides. It's going to get it done. And then all the way up to the top of our range, our flagship model, our 938, which is going to take upwards of 5 tons of payload up in a single pass. And the larger loaders in that family are going to be offered in 2 linkage styles, either a standard lift linkage or a high lift linkage, which you're likely seeing some videos later, targeted at stacking those bales 6 high, targeted at getting up over those 12.5-foot feed wagons to get that job done. And here again, we offer attachments, auxiliary flows, so that versatility message comes through. So of course, the wheel loader can also have a range of attachments and be a farmhand in a multitude of different environments.
So you talked about this wide variety of products. But is there anything just specifically just for the farm that you folks have designed?
Yeah, there absolutely is. And I got to tell you, I shouldn't have favorites as a marketing manager for Cat, but I do. And one that I'd really like to spend some time talking about is our 930M Ag Handler. Now, it's just one of several models that carry an Ag Handler badge. And what does that mean? Well, I can tell you, as a kid, I remember having to wake up on Christmas morning and go do my chores before, you know, Santa Claus would come and open Christmas gifts. And when you're in an environment like that, you want that extra trusted farmhand, don't you? A machine that you can start up, it's going to run every morning, and it's going to quickly get the job done. So an Ag Handler badge product is targeted at doing just that. So it is purpose-built, ready to go to work on the farm, and it will typically have some type of performance-boosting attribute to it where it can help get the work done in a quick way. And, you know, that machine, as we kind of walk around it, and I think we've even got a video that we can play to help explain what that tractor does. But, you know, on the front end of it, we've got a patented attachment called our Performance Series bucket. It's got a very long floor, an open throat design with round sidebars, so it just takes a scoop, boom, full, ready to take it up. And that Ag Handler also has a unique linkage on it. It's a high lift in design, purposefully targeted at getting up over 12.5, 13-foot feed wagons to get it done. And that 930 tractor, 165 horsepower, it's roughly 14 tons in weight, and it's going to take 4.5 to 5 cubic yards up on every single pass. Now, further to that, working in environments where often dusty. And we set those Ag Handlers up with debris management packages. So reversing fans to purge out any debris that might be sitting in the cooling and the radiators to let the engine breathe clean. Turbine pre-cleaners for the engine itself so that, you know, the filters don't plug up prematurely, and we can keep that tractor up and running. And, you know, I think there's some scare about Tier 4 final and what that means. And on a Caterpillar product, put the machine to work. Fill it full of fluids, put it to work. That emissions is going to self-manage. It's going to take care of itself, so you get maximum uptime and get those chores done and get home and have Christmas with your family.
All right, so you talked about the different kinds of products that were designed for agriculture. What kind of feedback are you getting there?
Oh, I'll tell you what. I have had the opportunity to work with farmers around the globe, and with these Ag Handler machines, specifically here in North America, I've had the opportunity to work with and partner with our dealers where we've taken them to our end users, and instead of listening to me, I'll tell you, I'd like to invite you to play a video and let's hear it straight from the customers.
Oh, that'd be great. All right, well, let's do it.
Richter Ranch, we're a small feedlot. We feed cattle 400 or 500 head of cows every single day of the year, 365 days.
We produce a little over 1 million pounds of milk a day. We use a lot of loaders on these dairy farms for a lot of different things. We've actually been milking cows in the United States for 95 years.
We've got a grain and cattle operation, keeps us busy year-round. We run around 900 to 1,000 head of bred cattle. Slaughter all of the cattle we raise. The grain operation, we're 10,000 plus acres.
There's 2 machines that run every day, this wheel loader and our feed truck. So we depend on reliability first and foremost when it comes to cattle handling facilities. I've been exceptionally pleased with the Caterpillar line that we've used in the last 6 years or so.
Pile of manure, so we stack a lot of bales with our loaders. We do a little gravel work, dirt work, things you couldn't do with the front end loader.
When I first got into it, the first thing I felt was I thought it had a better, lower center of gravity to do what we need to do.
Very user-friendly, more of an egg-based loader. It's got speed, things are smooth, great ride.
I think that the machine's more efficient, I think it's quieter, I think it's better balanced, I think it has a higher lift radius, has a better rollout. There's just a number of things that is better than other competitive machines that I've run.
The lifting capacity is always great. This is the high lift, and that's another advantage. When we're doing a lot of stacking, I think we can even go 4 high on round bales. We never have any tip height issues. It's quiet, extremely quiet machine compared to like the 544K. You're on the farm, you've got people walking, close to you. You're not in a pit somewhere and nobody's around but other vehicles and stuff. It's other animals, everything's just quieter.
It's night and day different than they used to be. I think the reversing fans in these types of settings are the biggest and most ingenious innovation that we've seen here in the last decade. The push the diff lock is an essential component to doing the work that we need to do. Because if you happen to be in wet product, whether it be wet manure or if you're out in the dirt, you have to be able to climb yourself through these situations or else you're locked up, spinning, high centered, and that gets to be a problem with all that weight.
The comfort of the cab, there's no issue. You could sit in it all day, 7 days a week.
Price is one thing, but service is another, and the people are another. And you gotta like who you're dealing with. The local dealer gets it, service people get it. We've just got a great relationship with the local dealer and have for 21 years. We've been buying equipment from them. One of my concerns going forward with loaders and trucks and everything else is the Tier 4 emissions. It's been a challenge, but I think CAT got it figured out.
Whether it's moving corn or moving manure or moving feed every single day, it's a handy machine with great visibility. It's responsive. It's got the power when you have less than ideal conditions, and yeah, I think you'll be happy with it.
Before, I always thought CAT was construction equipment, but it's obvious the changes you're making the loaders and coming out and seeing people in agriculture, you're making a difference. You got a machine here that'll work for ag.
It's some great stuff. And once again, I want to remind everybody about our toll-free phone number. If you want to call in, 877-731, and write it down, 6733 is the number if you have some questions for our panel of experts from Caterpillar. That was a fascinating video. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that. You guys really thought about all the details of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a trusted partner on the farm, and those ag handler badges really help to carry that through. Purpose-built, farm-ready, get them out and get them working. And that ag handler badge carries through some other products as well. Our 906, 907, and 908 wheel loader are also going to carry an ag handler badge, and part of Shandy's buy a bundle, save a bundle program.
All right.
Also in the telehandler space, we offer some ag handler badged products, and a telehandler machine, you just can't beat it for material placement. So very tight, nimble little package. Caterpillar offers 3 in total, and they can lift anywhere from 23 feet all the way up to 32 feet. So imagine material placement and putting bales in a barn. You just can't beat a telehandler for that type of work. And similar message again. Auxiliary flow on the front, a range of couplers, and a range of attachments to work in a variety of environments. And I'd be amiss if I forgot to tell you that with telehandlers, we also offer tow hitches and some braking packages. So if you want to tow trailers farm to farm or farm to field or fuel barrels, you can do that with the telehandler.
And that leads me to what you were talking about earlier. You guys were talking about the feedback from the customer, and you like to actually get the feedback so you can incorporate it into future designs. You like to go to trade shows. You like to hear from these commodity groups and find out what they really need, right?
Oh, you're so right. And I got to compliment our engineering staff who takes that to heart and helps bring on new design concepts. And I'll share a story with you. In Wisconsin, I got yelled at by a farmer. Hey, I've got to hold this trigger to keep the differential lock engaged so that I can keep my tires going and I don't spin when I'm doing clean out. So my finger gets sore. Joel, can you fix that? So back to our engineering staff, yeah, we think we can. And so now from an agriculture voice, you can do a quick trigger pull. The differential lock will come on and stay on even without you having to hold it. And then even over a directional shift, it will stay on.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So direct ag voice, which we've gone and retroactively put on our products to make them work.
So something that I heard you folks talking about during the break was some talk about some mini excavators. And if our viewers and listeners are not really familiar with what you're talking about with that, I actually saw one working just down the street the other day. I was fascinated by that. They're putting up buildings around our studios here. And that was the first time I'd seen one like that. You might explain what that is and why that's so useful on the farm here.
Yeah, I'd happy to. I'll tell you what, we are really seeing some growth in the micro and mini excavator inside of agriculture. And you know, the modern farm, surely they've got some drainage that they're trying to maintain, ditches or maintain grades, excavators are great at that. Site prep, building expansions, and excavators indispensable piece of equipment on the farm there. Now, that same versatility message, those machines can also be equipped with post hole diggers as an example.
Really?
And they're a great machine for putting in fence rows. And you might have seen it on the video, you can put flail mowers out on the front of that boom and stick combination and really manage right up to your fence lines. And the product group's also excited to bring out a skid steer loader coupler attachment to that family of machines, even further expanding its versatility. So micro and mini hex are really making their own on the farm, from classic work into additional work where they can keep running.
How many models do you have in that particular category there?
Yeah, I believe we're upwards of 14 some odd models in that space of micro and mini, and then as you get into the medium-sized hex, it grows even beyond that.
Okay, so what kind of power are you talking about on those?
Oh, good question. I'll tell you what, and that's an open invitation. If you've got an interest, please encourage you to reach out to your salesman. Let them come out and have that task tool kind of machine discussion with you, and we can be a good consultant and an end-to-end business partner with you in that type of work.
That's interesting stuff. All right, so other than that, you were talking about the mini excavators, the telehandlers, and you said you were putting in all sorts of considerations about things that you can use on the farm. You talked about your four-wheel loaders, and that's kind of your baby, right? That's what you work in your department there. Give me a little idea on some of those attachments that you can incorporate on those. I know we saw in the video you had the grapples on there that they were I guess I would call them soft grapples. They were like rounded. They would grab the hay bales and everything. How many of those do you actually have that you can use, maybe for the hay user out there?
There's quite a few, and we would call them simple attachments and more complex attachments. And where Caterpillar really shines across our range of products is we've got a great marriage of the machine and the attachment itself. So for those simple attachments, maximizing that production rate. For those more complex attachments, Martin, like you're talking about with bale squeezes or grapple buckets, we can tune the machine and the way our operators interact with those so that we get the most out of them and they're very predictable in feel.
Yeah, we're showing some on the screen right now, some of the versatile attachments that you folks have really used. I was also fascinated by the one where the piece of equipment went up to the edge of a large silage pile and they were grinding it off of the side. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, and so what's that tell you? That operator trusts the machine to do what he's asking it to do. Yeah, that's right. And so as they're
But they didn't have to like try and scoop it out from underneath there. There's a huge safety factor there.
Yeah, and we would call that a silage defacer in the Caterpillar world. And the key with good feed is that you don't open it up and let the oxygen start to get in there and create any molds in there. And so the silage defacer it plays a nice role where you can just kind of poof that face, just cut what you need for the day, feed it, and then you can maintain the face of that pile to make sure you get the best quality feed.
All right. You guys ready to take a call?
Yeah.
We have Charlene on the line. Charlene's calling in from Nevada. Thanks for calling in, Charlene. What's your question?
Well, I don't have a question. I just have a comment.
Okay.
My husband has a 416B, I think it's a 1997 Caterpillar, he says is the very best. He has worked dirt, he's been a crane operator, and he has just really liked his backhoe. We have 1.25 acres. We don't have a farm, but we are in rural Prump, Nevada, and he uses it on our property. He moves dirt with it. He uses it to lift things that he can't lift. He's a laryngectomy, so he doesn't talk on the telephone, so that's why I'm talking for him. And he absolutely loves his Caterpillar. He just says there's nothing better. And like I said, he ran a crane for 35 years here in Las Vegas. He was one of the top crane operators for Jake's Crane here in Las Vegas. And so he's worked on heavy equipment. He worked for other construction companies that used Caterpillar also that he really liked. And the Caterpillar company here in Las Vegas came out and fixed our backhoe because it was broke down. And so they came out, they did a fantastic job and fixed it for my husband. And we wouldn't know what to do without it because he just uses it for everything.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Charlene, for sharing. Appreciate that very much. Nevada, and I'm sure you guys hear that all the time. The loyalty is outstanding.
Yeah, we always thank you for sharing that story, and welcome to the Caterpillar family, and thank you for your business and being partners with Caterpillar in that, and our dealership there, case in point, world renowned for service and making sure that you've got good uptime out of your products, so it can pay you back that investment.
You take care of your customers, that's for sure. All right, once again, I'll give you that toll-free phone number here, and if you want to jot it down, just like Charlene called in, 877 is the number, so it's toll-free, 877-731-6733. When we return, we'll have an inside look at the new addition to the Cat family, one that dealers and customers have been asking for a long time. Come on back. Welcome back to Rural America Live, where we are joined by our panel of experts from Caterpillar. Well, it's an exciting time for Caterpillar in agriculture, and they're excited to introduce their first ever Cat utility vehicle. Let's take a look.
Caterpillar, always been the strong, silent type. We do what we do, so you can do what you do. That's why we're the ones who put the U in UTV. We listened to you and thought about everything the UTV category is missing. And because we're Caterpillar, we stepped up to the plate. You asked for a trusty farmhand. We delivered a UTV that's hard-working yet soft-spoken. Done. One that doesn't run you as ragged as the workday. Here it is. And while we're at it, how about a UTV backed by unmatched support? The Cat Dealer Network, bridging the gap between this rugged workhorse and friendly expertise. This UTV is hitting the market with force to help you round out your fleet with the strength, comfort, and performance you expect from the Cat machine. That's how we're putting the U in UTV.
All right, we're talking with Norma Aldinger. All right, tell us about this new UTV.
Well, we're so excited to finally offer a UTV, and one of the first questions I usually get is, why is Caterpillar coming out with a UTV?
Right.
Were you thinking that before?
I was. I'm sure our audience probably is too.
So it's pretty simple. The reason why we're doing this is, first and foremost, is because our dealers and our customers have been asking for Caterpillar to come out with a utility vehicle. So that's one reason. The second reason is, as we started to look at the utility vehicle market, the market is growing, but when you look even deeper, the market is growing even more in work type applications, especially in the agriculture segment. So when you take a step back and you look at the ask from our customers and the fact that the workhorse utility vehicle continues to grow, it just made sense for Caterpillar to do that.
And we're taking a look at one on the screen right now for our viewers at home. So that's your first look at them. And tell us, how many models are you going to have here?
So we're going to start with two models, the one you see on the screen. We're going to start with our two-seater utility vehicles. We're going to have the CUV 82 and also the CUV 102D. The CUV 82 is our gas version of the two-seater, and the one you see on the screen is the CUV 102D, which is the diesel version of the two-seater.
Diesel.
Diesel.
Had to be diesel.
Had to be diesel.
If it's cat, yeah. I knew that had to be in the offering there. So I'm sure farmers have been asking for that.
Yeah, they certainly have.
All right, so you're going to have two models here very soon. If you could, I'm very curious about what led to the design of that machine. Can you kind of take us behind the scenes a little bit and explain how that all came about?
Well, you know, I can't tell you all of our trade secrets. Okay?
We can try.
but here's what I can do. What I can do is I can tell you that this is not like any other utility vehicle on the market. We decided that when we got into the utility vehicle business, we wanted it to represent Caterpillar. So we took a clean sheet design approach. So we started from the very beginning. We did extensive customer feedback from a lot of people in the agricultural segment and said, if Caterpillar, you know, came out with a UTV, you know, what would you expect out of that? And so some of that feedback we got was quiet. Right? Joel had talked about the quietness of some of our other products, and that definitely carries over to the utility vehicle. Talked about comfort in the cab. I don't know if I've ever been a piece of equipment where we didn't talk about how comfortable the cab needs to be. So again, that also carries over to the utility vehicle as well. But more importantly, it had to be tough. Okay? It had to represent the Cat brand in a tough vehicle as what our customers expect from all our other Cat products that you heard about today. So our customers wanted all that, and on top of it all, they said, and please, Caterpillar, make this affordable. This, you know, we heard from a lot of customers that this could be their very first piece of Caterpillar equipment. So we definitely want them to have a really great experience.
You know, I'm amazed at how much the ATV/UTV has changed over the years. My goodness, it's really evolved, hasn't it?
It certainly has. I mean, I can relate back to when I grew up on the farm, and not only on our farm, but many other farms in the area, it was really common to have either a three-wheeler or a four-wheeler. Now, us kids, we'd like to use that to go have some fun on the weekends.
Sure.
But during the week, we'd obviously have to use it to, you know, run between the different farms that were pretty close by, go spray fences, you know, go pull weeds, go pick up rocks, really whatever needed to be done. So it was pretty common. And as you look at a lot of farmers today, that's still the case. I've interacted with a lot of farmers since I've been on this project, and a lot of farmers still have that, mostly a four-wheeler, but I've talked to a lot of farmers, especially this year at trade shows, that say, you know what, I've had my four-wheeler for a long time, and instead of buying another one, I think I might consider buying a utility vehicle. You can still get the top speed out of our utility vehicle that you can similar to a four-wheeler, but also you can more safely, you know, carry extra people, you know, with you. So they're not riding on the back, you know, they're riding, you know, beside you. And you have a lot more cargo room, you know, in the bed of that. So if you're picking up rocks, you can definitely put a full load. So, and some farmers, you know, will consider it more like a small version of their pickup truck.
Sure.
So whatever tools or whatever needs to be done, it's just a great little vehicle to help keep the rest of the operation going.
With high flotation.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so that leads me to my next question. We talked about what it looks like. We've seen it now on the screen for the viewers at home. What are the key features?
So we have a lot of them, and we're going to play a video here that's going to highlight some of them. So as I mentioned, within the Cat utility vehicle, it definitely had to represent some key features. Number one, I can't talk enough about how quiet and spacious the cabin. Every single time I'm at a show or I show our unit to a customer, they get in the cab and they say, wow, this has so much space. You know, also, as we look at the steel bed, we definitely have a steel bed, to represent that ruggedness. You can put 1,000 pounds in the bed. you know, and basically it's going to last for the job that you want it to do. So it's very rugged. You can tow, you know, 2,000 pounds, you know, behind this utility vehicle. From a stability standpoint, we want it to be safe and have a comfortable operation, no matter what terrain you're on and no matter what speed you're at and no matter what load is in the bed. So, and we also, with most of these vehicles, a lot of farmers and customers like to do the maintenance themselves.
Sure.
And if it's not easy, that maintenance is not going to get done. So we considered that into the design. You know, for example, we had heard the feedback that sometimes when other people own a utility vehicle, you know, they want to change their own engine oil, but it's the engine oil, you know, it's not always easy to get to. So what we did, we designed a secret little trap door, you know, underneath the seat where you can literally pull back that door and have direct access into that engine oil filter and just make it so easy to do that simple maintenance work yourself. So.
As a farmer, you have no idea how much that's appreciated. You don't know how many times that can be a situation where that's not much fun out there if you have to work on something and it's hard to get to and it's a hard to reach place. Actually, we have a phone call. If you want to take a phone call, you guys, we have Dale on the line. He's from North Carolina. And Dale, thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate that. You're on the line with Caterpillar, folks. What's on your mind?
Thank you very much for taking my call, and I appreciate that. And I had one question. Is it four-wheel drive all the time, or can you shift from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive?
And you're talking about the four-wheelers, the UTVs here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of our CAT UTVs, you know, will be four-wheel drive, and there is a switch on that. So you can be in two-wheel drive, or you can switch it over to four-wheel drive. So I should also mention as well, we also have another switch to lock out the rear differential. So you can just customize, you know, what mode you want to be in based on what situation. I think it's also an appropriate time to throw in the fact that our CAT UTVs will have power steering, and that will come standard on the unit. But again, that's just something that you should expect from a piece of CAT equipment.
Standard. I like that.
Standard.
Power steering. All right, man, I would have given my eye teeth for that one. We have another call on the line if you're ready. We have Robert on the line from Arkansas. Robert, thanks for calling in. You're on the phone with the folks from Caterpillar.
Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I've got the wheel loaders, 907, 908 CAT wheel loaders.
All right.
But I would like to have the ATV, but I'd like to have one with a cab.
What do you think?
Heat and air.
Maybe we can bundle those together and he can put the cab from
Is that anything on the drawing board to put air conditioning in a UTV?
Yeah, so what we do have is when we come out with a UTV, we are going to offer a variety of accessories. And like most utility vehicles, you can build that up and customize it like you want. Roofs and windshields are very popular, especially in Arkansas. And of course, we'll have a rear window and doors available to close that in for a cab. So you can do that. We do have a heater available, although I don't think you'll need it down in Arkansas. And we don't have air conditioning yet. So I would say that's a great example of, you know, as we come out with this product, we're listening closely to the customer feedback to make sure we take the right next steps with the product.
At this point, what do you think, what model would be most popular on the farm?
So I'm kind of like Joel. I probably shouldn't have favorites, but I do.
Okay.
And I've been to a lot of farm shows to talk about this utility vehicle this year. And as farmers come and talk to me about the product, we talked about what makes more sense from them. The CUV 82 seems to be the preferred choice. So that's, again, our two-seater gas version.
Okay.
One thing they like about that is our gas UTV will go up to 45 miles an hour. And so a lot of ag customers really like that higher speed. What the cool feature is with a 4-pin code that the operator can select, you can lock that speed down to 25 miles an hour.
Really?
Yeah, so that's been a really cool feature that the ag segment has been excited about.
That's
so you
interesting.
Get, as I like to say, you get the best of both worlds. If you buy the UTV for yourself, you can go as fast as you want. But there may be other people that show up at your farm that just shouldn't drive that fast.
I know where you're going with that, yeah.
So in those cases, you can lock it down and have more confidence that who is ever on that vehicle is going to be safe.
Now, you mentioned the word affordable several times, and I know sometimes that's a topic some folks like to avoid, but what's the price going to be? I'm going to hold your feet to the fire here.
Well, Marlon, I know you have a lot of experience in ag, and you've seen some clips, and we've talked about the UTV. What do you think the price tag is on our UTV?
I don't want to venture a guess. I would guess really high on something like this.
Well, sometimes that's a pretty common perception that we get from any of our cat equipment is a lot of farmers think they can't afford it. So with the UTV, we really, again, wanted to make it affordable. So our CUV 82, or two-seater gas version, starts at $14,999. So under $15,000, you can get yourself in to maybe your first piece of cat equipment.
14,000.
Does that surprise you?
It'll haul 1,000 pounds? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that's not bad at all. And you can tow how much?
2,000 pounds.
For 14 grand. All right. Well, that's a pretty good price.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you being forward with that.
Yeah.
Now, I know, well, before we ran out of too much time on the program, you had another video, I believe, that you wanted to feature here before we let everybody go here. What is on this one here?
Well, I'm sure you can tell that I'm pretty energized about our new CAT utility vehicles, but I don't think everybody should take my word for it. I really want you all to hear what some customers have to say that have had a chance to run it.
Let's do that.
Let's take a look.
It just called my attention and decided to drive it.
Well, I like the appearance. It looks good. It's obviously very wide for such a little guy like myself.
My first impression of it was the simplicity of its design. You know, it shows it's a work vehicle and not exactly built for, you know, extreme sports or anything like that.
This one seems heavier and it has a shorter turning range, I think.
It's quiet. You can have a conversation. Good ride.
It's very smooth, and the noise, it's not as loud. The engine noise, you don't hear a lot of it, so that's nice.
I'm pretty impressed with how quiet it is and how it handles around the curves.
It really is a nice, comfortable, and silent ride, so I would definitely recommend it to my friends.
Oh, I love it. All right. I like it. It's quiet. It turns easy. The gear shift is like a truck, so it's easy to manipulate. I like it a lot.
It's very smooth. When you come up to an obstacle, you have that tendency to feel that you need to slow down, but your suspension is very good at a reasonable rate of speed, so it rides very smoothly.
The cab space was great. There's plenty of room for me to fit in anyway, and steering wheel was about the right height, and I didn't really feel like I was compressed into the cab of the vehicle.
I guess it really seems solid to me. Yeah, the quality of workmanship. I've always been impressed with CAT, so.
Well, they keep trying to get me to get a Caterpillar, so maybe that side-by-side might be it.
I think it seems like a great product, and I'd love to have one.
That's great. All right, how do we find out more information on it?
So I'd encourage everyone to work with their local CAT dealer, or you can simply go to cat.com/UTV. And at that site, you can sign up for exclusive updates on when a UTV will hit a dealer near you.
All right. And for general Caterpillar agricultural info, how do you get more info?
Yeah, I'd encourage folks to go out to cat.com/agriculture and do a little research and read up a little bit more about those ag handler badge machines.
And you have a toll-free phone number I happen to know about. It's 888-614-4328, and you can get more information on the whole line. Boy, thanks so much for joining us, all of you. It was great to have you with us. I appreciate that very much. And thanks for joining us here on Rural America Live. I hope you have a great evening from America's most important network. Have a good night.